You know what not is? NOT? That means nothing. It's not happening.
I thought it was a KNOT.
Well, cannot.
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 That'd be.
So I can't even spell it.
That'd be
that's
where
good.
that's where it's tied up with a piece of string, isn't it?
Well, you can't get not undone because it says it's not coming undone. You understand? It's not happening. That's what not means. And you know what not means? Not means failure.
Is that right?
Well, not means that you're not doing it. You're not knowing about it. You're not going anywhere. And I'm not talking about the Suzuki. I'm just talking about anything what's tied with a knot. So if you go their way and everything else and said it's not happening and we can't happen and it doesn't happen that way, well, crap. Just go out there and look at electricity as such, just for your ideas. See, first of all, they told you that you can't get over unity as such. So what you put in, you get back out again with loss. E equals mc squared. Anyway, now, we go out there and we take AC and convert it back to away loss to DC. So you got 240 volts AC in the power socket here and everything else. You got 110 over there if you're in America. Maybe, I don't know. But then you convert it back to, say, 12 volts. 6 volts, 12 volts, 24 volts. What happened to your 110 or 240? There's only one indicator it'll tell you. Stick the wires on your tongue. It'll tell you still got 240 at 12 volt wire.
Get to do this once, don't you?
Close. No, don't hold your tongue. Blister your tongue, but it won't kill you. Won't kill you because it's coming through as DC with don't kick, don't kill. But you get the boost. Serious. Okay? You want half of that? Stick one in one finger, which is an insulator skin on the outside. Stick the other, just one of the other wires on your tongue. Right? Stick both on your tongue.
You too can look like this after Joe's done it a number of times.
Yeah.
He used to be grey, now he's gone blonde.
I was always blonde. From the baby. Pink skin and blonde. Anyway, so now, when they say that, so you can't get more, so they say generators and all the rest of the thing and everything else, you ever consider the inverter? Interesting, because you take, let's say 12 volt. You're going to take 12 volt and try and stick it to the fridge. Fridge won't work. Go and stick it to your grinder. Grinder won't work. Okay? 12 volt won't have the amperage. Go and stick it on your welder, which is pulling 170 amps. Right? 12 volt can't give you 170 amps. But, so you go out there and if you could make your 12 volt system go for AC, you know how long it'd turn your grinder or you turn your light on and everything? Gone. If it would. Doesn't do it. But now, you go to a couple of coils, wound different ways and everything else, which is now called an inverter. And they get them really down to small things now. So you go and plug under your 12 volt battery and go to your flaming welder, which is 170 amps. Start welding. Didn't that just sort of go a little bit over what it should have been? Over what it should have done? A little bit. Then you hook them up to your grinder and you grind all day long and you hook them up to your fridge and you hook them up to flaming your lights and hook them up to everything, which is now from 12 volts you're getting 240 plus 110 plus. Okay? And amps, there's not a possible way in the world a battery by pulling it out. You see, a battery, a 12 volt battery might have, 30 to 60 amps, and you're dead short of crossing, blow the thing and melt your wires to smithers. They can't handle it. Okay? You try and get 170 amps out of a 12 volt battery and see how far you go.
Yeah, not long. You're not going to have it for long.
No, but all you got to do is stick that little box, which you got, open her up. You got nothing inside. Nothing. No generators to make the extra. But inverter, which is that. What's a converter? Well, that way. A big bang theory. What's an inverter? Okay? And so on like that. But an inverter takes a small amount and takes it to big. Converter takes, bugger if I know, and makes whatever. Okay? So you've got to start thinking a little bit differently. So oil into water, water into oil, gold into all the components. water into gold, water into oil, drop everything out, change everything, salt water into fresh, fresh into salt. Can you do that? The weirdest part is, you know, every river and all the rain, which is fresh, runs to the ocean. Why am I thinking it's strange? Because salt water and fresh water won't mix. Fresh water and salt water don't mix. Scientists can't make it mix. Do you think I should? Yeah. Look, all I've got to do is go to the table, grab some table salt, tip it in some water, okay, and now it's salty water, and now I go and add fresh water, and all it does is water down my salt mix. But your table salt is not the ocean. You can't even get the dirt what runs out of your river into what mixes into fresh water, or turns your fresh water into filthy, dirty brown. You can't get it into the ocean water. Because it just goes out in the ocean a little tiny bit, turns around, comes back onto the shore, separated, or turns into froth. Okay? Won't go out in the ocean. Won't dirty the ocean. And your fresh water and your salt water won't mix. And all the trace elements will come down and dissolve into fresh water, won't go into the salt water. I won't do it. Anyway, next question.
Hey, hang on. We've seen an unusual phenomenon.
Where?
Just then.
Did you?
Yeah. You completed the answer without interruption.
Can I just show you one more little tiny thing with
Please.
a magnet?
Yeah.
You got a bit of time?
Yeah, we do.
I don't want this out there, and I don't care about this and everything else, but out of it, I've got no field effect by any way that you can check magnetism. Anything on the face of the earth for you for checking magnetism, and I can have it there 1,000 times greater than any magnetism that you possess, and you can't find it. And do things which is the complete opposite, which is, instead of, what's the opposite of nothing? They say north is opposite south, south is opposite north. In magnetism, equilibrium. Equilibrium is the white field in the green card, which is your green card. Okay? All this shit. I don't have to go there. But just, each day I find something new. Okay?
These are a couple of magnets Joe's playing with.
They're your poles.
Yep.
Okay? This magnet here got broke.
Oh.
Now, when it's broke, the only way that you can put it back together, this is non-magnetic. Okay? There we go. And
sorry, that was non-magnetic and yet it was hanging on.
yeah, and that washer there is not magnetic either. And it's also a bit of plain steel, and in 2.5 years it won't rust, and you can't magnetise it. All you got to do to magnetise a bit of steel is drag it over a magnet. But this one you can't. Just pause for a sec. I've got to answer that. Hello?